keeps freezing out online. Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. Here we are again. It's the Memorial Day edition. Oh, yes. Go Marcus Allen.
Go Marcus Allen, baby.
Yeah, with your Kansas City, or I'm sorry, your Nebraska Chiefs.
Nebraska
Marcus
Chiefs.
Allen, because that's actually not Marcus Allen's number. So, but that's part of the joke just out there for you. Anyway,
it's right for kids number.
Me. Okay.
My gas station shirt. Want to be cop right here.
Yeah, where you work at the gas station. Gaslighting. You work at a gas station. That's why you're gaslighting us all the time.
I'm gaslighting you all. I'm a fake. I'm a wannabe cop with my Crown Vic.
He's got the he's got the '90s Crown Vic that converted used to be cop car. He's got a poodle with a German Shepherd head on top of it. Yeah.
Yep. Dog abuser. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. He keeps him locked up in the Crown Vic while he works at the gas station.
With the windows rolled up. My God.
But he does that so when the cops come, he can be with the cops. He likes being with the cops.
If you guys want some discounts on some food and some beverages, I can hook you up at my.
And they call him the
7-Eleven.
Yeah.
7-Eleven.
Oh, is it 7-Eleven? Oh, I thought it was like some offshoot gas station like Hudson, a Hudson.
Oh, yeah. Quick stop.
Come and go.
Come and go. There you go. Got it. Hit it right on the head.
All right. We're just joking around about all the nonsense that people like to say. So we had a third round video. It was ahead of its time, as it always is with us. We're always ahead of the pack. And it turns out that a lot of people, we got a lot of hate for that too, right? For, telling it like it is. That's because that's what we do. We tell it like it is. We're not like Cecil Whammy, who tells you they tell you like it is, and it's just the same old BS. But it seems like everybody's analysis, whether it's on the national stage or whether it's even some of the local, a couple of, at least one person on the local that, isn't afraid to tell it like it is, basically shared your analysis. I'm going to give you the credit because you're the college football guy more so than me. But you were ahead of your time. So can you talk about the Williams draft? Oh, it was the second round, wasn't it? It was round number 2.
Yep.
Yeah. So excuse me. It was the second. We were talking about the second round with Williams. So we're going to discuss Williams here a little bit further. And we have a lot of, and I'll put the links. There's a lot. I did put a link at that original video that shares our analysis with Williams. So could you talk about that a little bit? I'll drink my coffee.
Okay. Hopefully Mr. Freeze doesn't show up. Probably will. So forgive me.
Call him the Freeze.
Want to be cop. So Williams versus Michael Carter, Javonte Williams versus Michael Carter. Before the draft, I was continually saying that this guy's a Royce Freeman 2.0. A lot of his highlights are highlight reel film. A lot of his good plays are highlight reel film plays. I lean towards Michael Carter because there's two things in a running back that I look for. In the way he sets up his blockers. And he's just he is a James Robinson, Philip Lindsay 2.0, but better, in my opinion. Like me and you were saying before the video that what does Javonte Williams have in common with John Elway draft picks? Who does he relate to? Royce Freeman, Monte Ball, Melvin Gordon was a free agent pickup, C.J. Anderson, all these big, bulky running backs. These are the typical John Elway draft picks at running backs. He doesn't like the Philip Lindsays, the
Carter,
the James, the Philip Lindsays, etc. James Robinsons, Alvin Kamara's, Christian McCaffrey's, etc. That's what Michael Carter reminds me of because he has the vision and he has the receiving ability. He has the technique to set up blockers. Roy, and this is the problem with Royce Freeman, Javonte Williams, and Melvin Gordon. They can't set up their blockers. They run into their blockers. That is one thing why Philip Lindsay had 2,000-yard seasons. 2,000-yard seasons is because the ability to set up blockers and his vision to hit the hole and go. Royce Freeman, Javonte Williams, and Melvin Gordon can't do that.
Well, yes, and I'll provide the links to these analysis in the podcast. I was watching, you sent me the link, and I was watching, and we have no affiliation with this film breakdown at all. But I was watching the film breakdown, and yes, it was pointed out that Williams cannot. He doesn't have the same vision to recognize a hole and how to navigate a hole. That was they definitely show that. That
yes,
he's looking for space, is what he said. He's looking for the final frontier, right? So,
absolutely.
So maybe in some system he would work out fine. But again, well, I always wonder, is this just another guy the Broncos are gonna, or another career the Broncos are gonna ruin, trying to make him something he can't be, trying to make him into something he can't be. Now he does have upsides. We're not saying he doesn't have upsides. When he does get out, he's hard to tackle apparently. But this is NFL though. We'll see how it translates in the NFL.
Yeah, this is college. A lot of people in their pre-draft analysis, and then when they want to stick by that pick, and I understand that people love Javonte, but the problem I have with Javonte is the NFL is a lot more different than college. The NFL is a lot more faster. They're a lot more disciplined in their tackling techniques. They're a lot more disciplined in general as an NFL player.
Yeah, I think even A.J. Johnson probably would be able to tackle Williams all right. I mean, don't think that would be out of his. He wouldn't be getting away from him even.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think again, I looking at the critiques on Williams, I think we again saw the overhyping by this organization and the people around this organization on that pick for sure. But I want to again put the film study out there. I'll also put the podcast out there, and you can listen. And this is kind of the consensus. And again, we beat everybody to it. You did. I shouldn't even take you. You're the one that does those analysis on these college guys. I mean, you were ahead of the pack. And also now I want to change. Is there anything else about Williams?
Just one more thing. In today's game, you need more of Michael Carter's than you need more of Javonte Williams in today's NFL, because they have a plethora of tools that you need on an offense now with the evolution of offenses. Back in the 90s, 80s, and 70s, like what have we kept saying? That Elway's living in the 90s? That pick basically confirms it. You need more of Michael Carter's in today's NFL than Javonte Williams. Not saying Javonte Williams is a bad player. I just don't think he's going to be that all-world, like that Ezekiel Elliott when he had a good offensive line, like a Derrick Henry, those type of players. Those players are rare.
What I'm really curious is Shermer going to send him to the concession stand to get hot dogs when he should be back in the backfield blocking?
He can come get hot dogs at my gas station if he wants.
At your gas station. You get cop rewards at your gas station. They're called cop rewards for a cup of coffee. Oh, they call him the freeze.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
He just freezes out online. Do. So the one thing I want to translate or segue into about you being ahead of the thing here, everybody else, is I got done talking and singing about Mr. Freeze. I actually forgot what I was going to segue into. Oh God! See, this is what happens early morning. I haven't had enough coffee. You're freezing.
Already.
And we're joking around and
Gotta love it.
Oh yeah, you just froze again.
Right
So
here.
look at my little menu here. And I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the defense. I don't think this is exactly what I was going to start with. I was going to segue into something else. Sorry about that.
You're good.
We're on a roll today, man. I'll tell you that. We're on a roll. I want to talk about the defense. Comment, the guy was just adamant about the sacks, because this was going back to this defending Draymond Jones. In defense of Draymond Jones, he was, well, look, Chubb got this many sacks. This Reed got this many sacks, and on and on and on. So when we get people that like to basically just give you surface stats. They don't want to discuss anything about the stats. They don't want to give you context. The Denver Broncos were a decent team in the NFL with sacks. But my question to the commenter is, if this reinforces your belief in the defensive line, and this belief of the Broncos being the fifth best defense or sixth, whatever the NFL, I ask you, well, what's the metric? How do you gauge? How do you gauge that statistic? Okay, for about the sixth best defense. The NFL, this is where they get it from, is the NFL. The NFL gears it off of yardage given up. But that, in the case of the Denver Broncos, actually, if you deep dive that, it makes them probably be more like the fifth worst defense, because for a team that supposedly didn't give up much yardage, you gave up a lot of points. You're one of the worst teams at giving up points as a defense. That needs to be deep dived too, that stat. If you remember a lot of the games, there were short fields for the defense, which, again, makes the Denver Broncos a bad organization. So all year long it was like this, no matter who they played, except maybe Miami may have been the only exception.
Yeah.
But the Denver Broncos face short defense. The offense, their offenses they faced had short fields. And that was a combination of, it wasn't just the offense, it wasn't just special teams, but the defense gave up yardage initially because they couldn't stop anybody. And they stayed out on the field. And then throughout the game, it just stayed short. And between offense, 3 and outs on the offense, gaps on the special teams, that was nonstop, and the fact that your defense can't really stop anybody. You created a short field situation, and then that all season long. So of course, the Denver Bronco defense shows up as didn't give up much yardage. But then why did they score? Then why did the opponent score so many points against this defense? Well, because they're not good. Okay, the sacks. And I asked this to the commenter with of course they never get back. They say, "Oh, I'll be back," but they never come back with when you ask them directly. So, well, why didn't this this great juggernaut defensive line of sack machine? Why did it not generate turnovers? Why are the Denver Broncos one of the worst turnover or takeaway teams, takeaway defenses? Because what happens is and you saw this, and I want to bring up the Jets and the Bills game. The Jets, Sam Darnold had all day to throw. The pass rush was really non-existent. And I even have footage. I've showed footage of this. I showed footage after the game. I showed Sam Darnold. I said, everybody's yelling at Locke holding on to the ball too long, which I didn't really get. They accuse him for all kinds of things I didn't see in the film. I mean, not in repeatedly anyway. Sam Darnold, there was a sack on him, but he had the ball for over 6 seconds. you clearly should have had the ball, thrown the ball away. But that was going on all game long. When you face the Denver Broncos as a quarterback, you figure you got a couple extra seconds because they don't have the pass rush. So they tend to hold the ball longer. Okay? So in the case like with the Jets, what I thought was interesting, and you saw this with better success with Josh Allen, you had Sam Darnold just taking off and getting chunk yardage, and he's not even really that kind of a quarterback. I mean, he's your pocket guy. And again, that shows me. And then when you see Allen also reading War and Peace and holding the ball all day long, and then taking off and scoring a touchdown on his legs, and nobody even touching him, you can't sit there and just throw stats at me and tell me that how wonderful this defense is. It's nonsense. And you won't answer.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your point.
You won't answer these basic questions. Oh, I'll be back. Yeah, we hear that all the time. Just like the Williams. I'm sure that all those people that, something about Williams. Yeah. When that fizzles out, none of those people will be back. Go ahead.
Stuff I'm trying to, comment, and I'm not going to, make fun of everybody. This is why I don't comment, really. This is why I don't waste my time with people like that, because they say they'll get back to you and they won't, okay? That's number one. Number two, this defense is not a top 5 defense, and it's not a top 6 defense. I can't believe a commenter said this was a top 6 defense, okay?
Well, when you hear that. You do hear that from...
Yeah, I hear from STR. Give me a break. This defense top 5 when we went 5-11.
Well, it's not just
that.
It's not just that. They gave up the most points.
Yes. And they had barely any turnovers as a defense. And you guys say Justin Simmons is a turnover machine. Justin Simmons is a top 5 safety. Then did that correlate to being a top 6 defense and getting the most points scored on them? Oh, that's right, because you guys come with stats. I don't believe in stats. I believe in game film.
Well,
okay, I've been trying. Go ahead.
I believe in drilling down into those stats. See, they'll just throw them out like, surface. On the surface.
That's a con game. That's what it is, in my opinion.
Well, it's a con game. It's a con job. The one where the yardage, the Broncos defense giving up the least yards. Well, it's because you, on a week-to-week basis, opponents had short fields, so you're not going to give up yardage. And then when you had these teams on the 20, they just marched on down. At least midfield. They at least with no problem.
And they run, they put their tails between their legs like a poodle, like my poodle, and run and go blame Fangio. How the hell does that work? Okay, you guys call him the GM. I'm not gonna. That's another subject we'll talk.
That bring up something else I wanted to discuss. You can go back to your point. I want to talk about a Fangio defense versus an Elway defense. But go ahead.
Okay, so with this whole defense, okay, Draymond Jones is better in a 5-tech. How many times do I have to drill it in these feel-good Kool-Aid fans' heads that he's better in a 5-tech? And literally a commenter disagreed with me. And, a 5-tech's a 4-3. Again, I'm going to continue to say that Shelby Harris, if you brought in Sheldon Rankins and Shelby Harris was your Robin, that would make Shelby Harris 10 times. Or that can make Draymond Jones 10 times better. I was pounding the table for Sheldon freaking Rankins because he can help out a Shelby Harris. He can help out a Draymond Jones. And the number one thing that people like to forget here, that 2015 defense, how did they produce turnovers? They got pressure up the middle with Malik Jackson and Derek Wolfe. That made the ball get out quicker. They neutralized the middle of the field with Danny Trevathan and Brandon Marshall. We haven't had good linebackers since then. So all you guys want to praise Josie Jewell and Alexander Johnson, are they better than Danny Trevathan and Brandon Marshall? No, they're not. So stop. They don't have the player personnel on the defensive side of the ball, except for Bradley Chubb, Von Miller, and a few other pieces on that defense to legitimately say that this is a top 6 defense. Give me a break. Oh, yep. Got to bring up my Marcus Allen jersey, by the way.
Nebraska Chiefs.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I just wanted to say that if you looked at the Super Bowl and
it's all Tom Brady. It was all Tom Brady. Remember?
Well, yeah, Tom Brady played defense. He did. He played defense. I get that. If you listen to STR, Tom Brady played defense. But for the rest of the world, the real world, when you saw what was going on between Tampa's defense and Kansas City's offense, they were getting pressure right up the middle, and they didn't generate a lot of sacks on. We would talk about translating to sacks. What they did, and again, this proves my point, is you had Mahomes either having to throw the ball away or making errant throws. His completion percentage went into the toilet. And that's essentially because he knows he has to get rid of the ball a lot sooner than when he plays the Denver Broncos. I mean, that's just a fact of life. You play Tampa as a quarterback, in the back of your mind, you know that I only have so much time. I got to get rid of this ball. Play the Denver Broncos, I can hold the ball onto the ball a little bit longer, and that's what gets some of these quarterbacks in trouble. That's the point I'm trying to make with these stats with sacks. What you want to see is turnovers. Does your defensive line generate turnovers based off the fact that the quarterback knows they have to get rid of the ball sooner rather than later? But you didn't see that with the Denver Broncos. Okay. I didn't see us build up that push up the middle. I believe that you're going to see, even with Von Miller, that they are not going to get the help they need from a Draymond Jones. It's not even. Yes. Will they have to maybe, and again, we have to see, are there going to be anybody getting double teamed?
Who do they double team on the defensive line? Another great point by you. This is all you. Who do they double team? They single blocked every player on that D line. They were there was no Aaron Donald on that defense, Jordan Phillips, Sheldon Rankins,
or Malik Jackson.
Yeah.
None of that. Derek Wolf. None of that stuff is going on. So now I want to segue into the difference between a Fangio defense and an Elway defense. I got thinking about what you've been saying about, look what they did in Chicago. Then I also look at what Vance Joseph is doing in Arizona. It seems to me that there's somebody has this idea, and again, I call it stuck in the 90s, a 90s style of defense where you're hard on the edges and soft in the middle, all the way around them. You're just soft right there in the middle. So you draft Surtain to hope and pray that maybe he'll be an answer.
He'll be an answer slot position.
Yeah, that's when, if Callahan, I guess, goes down or whatever, I don't know.
Good God.
You have no help from your linebacking in that area, and you have no push up the middle either. So I will see. Talked about that. What I see with Fangio in Chicago seems diametrically different in philosophy of player personnel than what he's allowed to do here in Denver. Am I seeing things?
No, you're hitting the nail right on the head. You're hitting the nail right on the head. Go ahead. You're hitting it.
To talk about the player personnel in Chicago versus what they were doing in Chicago versus what Elway's doing here in Denver.
Okay, so player personnel in Chicago, I'm going to name this off because I don't want to freeze. So you had Akeem Hicks, Eddie Goldman, Roquan Smith, Danny Trevathan, and Khalil Mack, Leonard Floyd. You had a great back end, and Kyle Fuller, Prince Amukamara, Bryce Callahan when healthy. Then at your safety position, you had Adrian Amos and Eddie Jackson. Okay? See, what made that defense so legit is they neutralized the middle of the defense. It goes back to his 49er days with Navarro Bowman, with Patrick Willis, with Aldon Smith in his prime, etc. Front sevens that helped out what we have in Denver. Apparently, from STR and all these field fans, we have a great secondary. Like you said, we're hard on the edges, soft in the middle. Okay, I've been saying for years that we need a middle linebacker that can cover. Zaven Collins would have been perfect. I believe in Baron Browning. Okay, there's that guy I do believe in, but he needs time to develop. He's not ready day one. Okay, he needs time to develop. Okay, so instead of going out and getting Jay Brown, who me and you were going back and forth on this guy, I thought if you brought in Jayon Brown from the Tennessee Titans, he would have helped out your defense better than Alexander Johnson and Josie Jewell. Okay, does Justin Sternad hype? He's more of a special teams player, in my opinion. But the differences between these defenses are eerily different. They're so different. Okay, stop saying this is a top 6 defense. Go ahead.
Well, its top 6 was if you look, it's based off of yardage allowed, and we discussed
yardage. Wow, man. Yeah, did that correlate to wins?
Well, it did. It didn't have. Well, what should get people's attention is if they were true. When you look at this short yardage, this lack of yardage by the offenses.
Yeah.
Why did it relate to high points? I mean, right there, that should tell you something. You should be asking yourself, well, if we were supposedly, if you just take like a con artist, you say, well, look, they stopped teams. Well, no, they didn't stop teams, because the biggest stat of all is the points.
Yes.
Teams were scoring against this defense. That's a stat you can't deny, you can't hide from. So you got to drill down into both. Well, if you look at the games, you saw that the opponents had short fields on offense. And then
and another thing is Eddie. Can I just say this? Who's better, Eddie Jackson or Justin Simmons? And they play the exact same position.
Well, Jackson.
Thank you. Eddie Jackson is a special breed when it comes to a safety. Justin Simmons, for all the hype that he gets, I think Justin Simmons is a good player. But he is not a top 5 safety. And I warned people about giving this guy top 5 money. Okay? You basically are handicapped at that back end. You know how much they're paying the back end, and this brings up your point even more in this point. They are spending so much money at that back end position that their front 7 is so it's not even comparable. The whole defense in Chicago was so much better than this defense because Fangio had to do whatever he wanted, and that was his philosophy: getting guys that he can trust, pass rushing 4 guys at a time, and having everybody drop back, including neutralize the middle of the field. Fangio was one of the first coaches to actually show everybody how to neutralize the middle of the field, because he had the dome patrol, he had the people in San Francisco, he had the people in Carolina, and he also had the people in Chicago. He neutralized the middle of the field. That brings up your point.
Well, my point is that there's a philosophy at the front office that's stuck in the 90s. It's the old Al Davis. Now they're saying, well, we're gonna use an extra DB for the slot. Well, they don't even have anybody for that, except maybe you could say Callahan. Okay, but the problem is the injury situation.
Yeah.
But then we can back up further and see where. And I don't know where this dates. When did I think before Fangio didn't Vance Joseph, wasn't he ordered to get who's that? Our DB we sent off to San Diego.
Chris Harris Jr.
Yes, Chris Harris Jr. Sorry, it's early. Wasn't the orders given to get him to be an edge type of a cornerback? A sideline quarterback. I'm sorry, sideline quarterback.
Yeah, he's about corner. When he's basically a slot guy.
When he's a slot guy, yeah. Because that experiment failed, and it's just what I'm saying is that there's just this mentality about getting burned on the edges, even though they're getting slaughtered in the middle. And it's reminiscent of, like I said, it just reminds me of way Al Davis was adamant about just, getting the fast corners and then of course his team's always got the same thing, just got chewed up in the middle. But we're seeing with Jance Joseph in Arizona that he's doing it like Tampa's doing it, like Chicago did it. When Fangio was in Chicago, where they're trying to bring the pressure up the middle, and they're trying to get that linebacking in the middle also solidified, coverage linebacking, not just run stopping. So
yeah, they got Jordan Hicks, Isaiah Simmons, and Zayvon Collins, great coverage linebackers, because this game is correlating to the middle of the field, which you were the first person to bring up, by the way. But yeah, this game is correlating to the middle of the field. This game ain't correlating to the freaking edges away. It's correlating to the middle of the freaking field.
Yeah, so as soon as these guys, either when they were somewhere else and if they go somewhere else, it seems the NFL that's the winning formula. It seems like, and somebody at Dove Valley is just being stubborn. And who do we know at Dove Valley who's stubborn? And we've seen this before. All these other people have shown up. You're just a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, you're just a Chiefs fan. We ain't part of the organization.
You work at a gas station.
Yeah, okay. Director of player personnel, buddy. Look at that. Go read the background on director of player personnel, please, and then come back to me. Comment towards me.
That doesn't mean.
And we'll have a discussion.
That doesn't mean anything. Sports talk radio.
Of course, it doesn't mean anything. It's all George Payton. Okay, yeah. Do those? Can I just say this to all the people that love George Payton? Are those moves that George Payton making George Payton moves?
Well, they think it is.
It's not.
They think it is.
He said in his press and then the guys they shut that down like a freaking casket and just nailed that in. They don't want people to know that. He spilled the beans.
Say that again, you froze. Say that again, you froze.
I said sorry, Mr. Freeze is back. Well, I'll say it quick. George Payton wanted to get defensive line in free agency. Elway didn't want that. That's all I have to say.
Yes, I know. And they shut that down when he was discussing that.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. I got to tell you something that Von Miller said that I just caught, and of course they didn't. When talking about, they were asked, what are you? The reporters asked him, what do you personally want to accomplish? And he said, I'm not doing this for the GMs, as in plural. I'm not doing this for our GMs. That's more than one.
See, and people won't get that. That's a direct shot to Elway. That's a direct shot to Elway. Direct shot.
Right over there.
That is a sniper shot. That is a sniper shot from like 300 yards out. And
yeah.
That is a direct shot at Elway.
Yeah. That's just I know nobody would catch that. So there's some more.
Oh, and I want I like carrying this up. I love Locke's mentality going into this year. I love it. He is sticking it to every single one of you freaking people that hated on him, and that freaking all you STR bullshit, and all you fans that hate him and that want Aaron Rodgers. That is never gonna happen. He's gonna, dude. I'm telling you. Don't sleep. I'm serious. Locke has a different mentality. This is a different Locke. I think Manning did something to him. I think something happened, and I think he wants to stick it, and I want him to come out and stick it to every single one of you people.
Well, remember, I even said that I see ultimately him taking the reins away from Bridgewater.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a question, too. Yeah, by the way, STR was getting, they were backpedaling big time on Locke. Oh, we were just criticizing his and that's what we did here. We criticized, but we didn't say we don't have a quarterback. Go out and get all these quarterbacks. We didn't say that, okay? And I just want to know why. So when you're getting crap from people, and I'm not sitting here like with pom poms for Locke, okay? That's not where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from he may be coming here with pom poms for Locke.
I am.
My mentality is that we need to settle down and learn how to develop a quarterback.
Thank you.
And stick to something. All you people at STR, that was the whole idea when you got Locke. I said don't bring Locke in. I said don't bring Locke in, but it was you people that said, look, this is at least a 3-year project. That's what you people said. All the people that said we don't have a quarterback, you were the people that said it's a 3-year project, but you didn't give them that. Matter of fact, you made the COVID clown show. That was something that maybe the organization couldn't get around.
The fake pandemic. Yep.
So what you did is you went and got Shermer because you're infatuated with Kansas City. So you retarded the development of the guy that you said was the 3-year project, and didn't account for that. You've made every excuse to try to get even Bridgewater to come in, and I don't have anything against Bridgewater. I'm just saying that the organization, I don't believes in at the top believes in either quarterback. I mean, it's obvious.
No.
And I think Peyton, and this is the thing, Elway has no faith in Locke. That's obvious. But yet Manning did, and that should tell something to people. You have Elway acting more like Al Davis than anything else, and maybe Manning sees something, and he also sees an organization that's floundering, that just cuts quarterbacks' throats as fast as they can, and blames there's so many problems with this team, and just blaming the quarterback. But I also wonder if Peyton Manning does have a vested interest in this organization for something beyond, just being once played on it. Maybe down the road or something.
I think so, because he still lives in Denver, and he spends a lot more time in the Denver community than he does the Indianapolis Colts community, because I believe it's because of Pat Bowlen than anybody else in that town in Denver. I think Pat Bowlen influenced him. He basically retired as a Bronco, and we all know this because of Pat Bowlen.
I was wondering about ownership, about future ownership.
Yes, absolutely. I think you hit it right on the head. You know what? And Drew Lock, like you said, you took what he was flourishing in the Rich Scango offense, and you sacrificed his development for a Pat Shurmur guy who is a Mike McCoy souped up version. Okay, I'm not going to compare him to the Pat Shurmur Kansas City stuff. I compare him to the Mike McCoy stuff. Okay, that's basically what it is. And you sacrificed his development, and he was doing better in a Rich Scangarello West Coast Kyle Shanahan offense and a Mike Shanahan offense, Gary Kubiak offense, and you sacrifice that for a Pat Shurmur, Mike McCoy offense. Really? Okay. No wonder he sucked last year, because they didn't help him. The offense was trash. The play design was atrocious. You've been pounding the table on that for since the beginning.
I couldn't show enough film.
Yeah. You showed the 5 videos. But yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. What was Locke supposed to do this past year? With receivers quitting on routes, with an offensive line that was terrible. We could get back with the Jerry Jeudy thing. Give a freaking break with that crap. Jerry Jeudy, the podcast that I sent you, they brought up the Jerry Jeudy point here. That he literally said that everybody was making him out to be a great route runner, and he said he's an okay route runner. Okay, so that the guy that I had on that podcast earlier that I sent you, you could put it in the link. Bang. He agrees with our logic. He was no crazy route runner, but he was a good route runner. He even said that he had route problems in college. That's what I said.
Well, we showed film. We showed film on them giving up routes, and people just, again, they want to show you stats, but they don't want to show you the real world, actual film. So you had, also they were rookie receivers up and coming, this kind of thing, and Fant's still, learning too. So Cecil Whammy, in the name of blaming everything on Locke was, well, he didn't precisely put passes. And like, I can show you a whole career. I can show you a whole career of Brady film. I mean, Edelman really made Brady look better. You want to talk about a receiver making a great quarterback look?
I think it was Welker.
Wes Walker, yeah, him too. Well, yes, they kept. I mean, these guys would catch passes like, because Brady gets rid of the ball so quick, but he knows that he's got receivers. As long as they get the ball is in somewhere where they can reach, if they even have to reach back or reach down, or they'll get it. That's what they draft. They drafted the guys that could, because this isn't about it has to be placed right here each time. It just doesn't work like that in the real world.
Well, and then you have Cecil Lammy and all these other STR outlets saying that Broncos offensive line is no longer a scapegoat. Okay.
Well, that's what they said year after year. They said that every year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's no longer a scapegoat, but you keep scapegoating the quarterbacks. When Jeff Driscoll called out the offensive line, which I think he called out Elway, they scapegoated him. When Flacco called out Elway, they scapegoated him. When Case Keenum was starting to get pissed, they scapegoated him. Okay, it's not the offensive line that's been scapegoated, which hasn't been really the attention hasn't really been on the offensive line because that's how Elway works. But it's mostly the quarterbacks that has been scapegoated than anything else.
Well, by STR,
get that through your head.
Yeah, by STR.
Yeah, and field fans, even the feel good fans, I think that this is a top 6 defense, and they provide stats, and then once you combat them with real statistics, with real stuff.
And they call it freeze. You froze again.
Go ahead, Mr. Freeze. Go ahead.
And they call him Freeze.
Unbelievable.
Freeze out
on love it. You gotta love it. You gotta. God, gotta go back to my 7-Eleven job here.
It's our great American internet system that we have.
Thanks, Microsoft.
In Japan, and Microsoft, in Japan they have 60 internet providers, and their speed's like 5 times anything we have. 5 times. I mean, everything we have is just trash. I just hate to say that, but that's the way it is. This is living proof.
This country is trash right now, so it's not just the internet. People are scapegoated.
Oh man,
people are easily tricked. They don't give a shit.
Well, I was going to go back to this whole offensive scapegoat. Now, I provided criticism of Locke and film. I mean, I showed film, and I've taken crap for that. But I didn't say we got to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm just, but I also married it to offensive line issues. I also married it to scheming issues and wide receiver issues. I didn't just pick one and say it's all this one person's fault either. So don't sit there and say that I'm apologizing for Locke, because I didn't. And I took crap from a lot of people for actually showing. And the commenters were right. He's just up and coming. And I agree with that. And I almost regret some of because it was assumed that I was saying that we should just get somebody else, but it never was. I just needed to point it out, some of the problems, and he did have problems.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He had the same problems that he had coming out of college, was his footwork with issues. But I believe if he was in the offense with the Rich Scangarello offense for another year or two, I think he would have corrected them enough to be a good quarterback in this league, which you can win with. You don't need a top 5 quarterback to win in this league.
Well, what is a top 5 quarterback? You're only as good as the army around you. So, So we in the Super Bowl, for instance, Mahomes he's been given God status. He's no longer a Disney princess. He was given God status. Okay, and even he looked like a contract. Well, he looked like a 2-bit quarterback, like a crackerback, box quarterback when, you took away his receivers. He was just a guy out there, was all. So, again, you're only as good as the army around you. So, with the footwork, and I was going back to Mahomes, if you listen to his interviews off season, he works on footwork all the time. Drew Lock discussed this whole off season about footwork. Maybe that was something him and Manning really worked on, was footwork and how footwork plays, breaking down film and looking at how feet need to be placed. And so the quarterbacks work on this kind of stuff all the time. So yeah, just say last season before his footwork. Well, we'll see he understands it, and we'll see how it translates this season. And I'll be the first to say that given a fair chance, if a quarterback just if everything else around the quarterback is in place, which it's not, I just hate to tell you that, and the quarterback is still struggling, I could see, wanting to change that up. But I just don't see that they gave the Lock. I mean, just like it seems like they threw everything at him to make him fail, or by default threw everything that would make him fail, and they never really haven't. I mean, look at Mahomes goes to a playoff team, playoff contending team. Brady gets drafted on a Super Bowl team. Rodgers gets drafted to a Super Bowl team. Roethlisberger gets drafted to a playoff team. These organizations. Elway has quickly turned this organization into crap, into dog crap, and I just don't see where. I think even this season coming up, both quarterbacks are going to find there's going to be difficulties, and it's all going to start at the offensive line. That we're all yet another year we're all supposed to forget about it, according to STR. And I want to say something too, really quick, is that Mark Schlereth they were joking about this. He would go right up where the offensive line were doing their drills, and they escorted him out. They don't want him anywhere around there's something about the offense. They're very sensitive about the offensive line. And I think it's because they are delusional. I think the people at the top are delusional. They think they've taken care of it when they in fact have not. They have it maybe in part, but and maybe Munchak, and it seems like the Munchaks, and it seems like the Fangios, they're given the table scraps. This is what you get to work with. I'm going to pick as John Elway, not Peyton. I'm going to pick the top picks here. I'm going to get the guys in free agency. We're not going to let anybody else. I'm going to do that. We're going to be hard on the edges and soft in the middle.
I think that you bring up a great point. It's not just the offensive line; it's also the defensive line too. They forget about. They get very sensitive if you bring up the defensive line.
Oh yeah, it's the same story too. Oh, it's all solved. Look at Draymond Jones. It's all solved. It's all solved. Von Miller's coming back, and I think you're still going to see a lot of one-on-ones. I think quarterbacks, maybe with Von Miller and Chubb, maybe that reduces the time a little bit, and Malik Reed is in there. Maybe, but again, I don't see, and you brought it up when we were off camera. When they played Miami, it looked like it was lights out. But when they played the Steelers, when they played Tampa, when they played Kansas City, it was just non-existent. The pass rush was non-existent. And I think when the Broncos play those, Buffalo, same thing with Buffalo. Actually, even the Jets, when they played the Jets, it was really non-existent. So, and I think that we're going to just see maybe a slightly better version than we saw, but I don't see it. We just don't have that guy in the middle right there, that push. That really helps those edge guys out and helps the backfield out too. So just quick throws in the middle of the field.
We don't have any middle line. We don't have
No.
We don't have a linebacker that could cover the middle of the field, that can neutralize the middle of the field. We don't have linebackers that can neutralize the middle of the field. So you're right. They're going to throw in the middle on us all day this year.
So do you think, I want to go back to, with Locke really quick. Do you think that Peyton Manning sees a lot more in Locke than Elway?
I do, because why did Elway come out and say this stuff about Locke? If he didn't believe in Locke, then why did he come out and do that? He does that. And STR like to say, well, STR said, what about Brock Osweiler? What about Zach Dyser? Those were different cases. Locke's a different case. I think Locke has more potential than a Brock Osweiler and a Zach Dyser, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. The whole idea was if you're an organization and you're going to. The idea was that Locke was the first round that they got in the second round. That was the general idea, and the overwhelming idea by the organization is we're going to give this guy a fair shake, and it was a 3-year project. That's all the stuff that came out. So what I saw was Elway immediately wanting to save his legacy, wanting to get the guy from Detroit, wanted to get the guy from Houston, and wanted to get the guy from Green Bay, save my legacy. Instead of working on his own legacy, I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to give this guy every friggin' chance and not bring in Shermer, this kind of thing. So
I think the whole John Elway legacy is a fraud, in my opinion. I think that Adam Peters, Peyton Manning, Pat Bowlen made John Elway's legacy.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But that will get
screw Adam Peters.
That'll all be swept under the carpet. But I mean, right now, John Elway's legacy is taking basically a Super Bowl contending team or a playoff contending team and turning it into a clown organization. That's just the way it is. That's the way it is. And here's the last thing that I have is that there's another clown comment out there. We get clown comments, and this is the clown comment of the week was, I got this guy that's just like, nobody believed Aaron Rodgers was going to ever come here. And it's like, okay, now wait a second. I
have no.
You over everybody else, right off when Mark Schlereth announced that it's happening right now, you called bullshit, right? You were the only person calling bullshit. STR has a lot more people listening than they'll listen to us. And how many of those people believe this whole, or probably still do believe this whole Aaron Rodgers to Denver theory that was thrown out there? It's a lot of people. And then you've got online platforms who get paid close to Dev Valley, who also say it's very real that Aaron Rodgers, it's a very real possibility
betting.
What's that?
The betting odds. Oh my God.
And the betting odds. So you're either a complete dimwit. I just got to say it. You're either a complete dimwit or you're living under a rock to think that all these people don't think or didn't think that, when we were the first to say that this is not going to happen. That's the thing now. And here's the thing. Why don't you go over to these people if you're so adamant that for a fact that Aaron Rodgers, like us, wasn't going to be here? Hooray for you. Well, why are you harassing us? Why aren't you going to STR, these other online platforms who are pounding the drum that he's coming? Why aren't you over there? That's what I find very curious. They I guess don't have balls. They don't have the balls to go and stand up for what they themselves are saying.
Well, I did, but I kept getting blocked or I get hung up on. So, a lot of people say I'm easily agitated like a liberal. Well, it's funny that you come and say that because, if I was a freaking liberal, I'd have the vaccine card for you. If I was a liberal, I would be pro-abortion. If I was a liberal, I'd be all this crap. I'm easily agitated as a liberal. Yeah, that's funny. Then why do you keep coming to our channel and watching our stuff then? If you don't give a shit, if you don't care, if you continue to sit here and say that, the Aaron Rodgers, we never believed it. Yet I was the first person to call bullshit on it. You continue to come to our channel and watch us. So you guys must be infatuated with our content than the people that you're actually believing in.
Well, I just don't understand why you're not. And I asked this person, tell me why you're not over talking to these people. They're the one pushing it. Well, you're griping at me because I think what happened is that they honestly
idiots.
My theory is these are the people that honestly believe every word that comes out of STR's mouth, and then when it doesn't happen, they're mad at me because we told them you're an idiot for even believing it, basically. So I never believed it. I didn't believe it. Well, we know they probably did.
That's how you know they're backtracking on their bullshit. They're backtracking,
and that's STR too. They were backtracking with Locke.
Yeah, that shows that they're an STR follower if they say that crap. They're bullshitting. They're bullshitting you. They're bullshit.
Well,
I don't care to comment with these people.
When your whole world is bullshit and you listen to bullshit, and somebody brings you to the real world and tells you the way it is, and it contradicts that bullshit, you're the enemy.
Yeah. You're the enemy of the people. I'm a liberal. I'm a gas station guy. I work at a gas station. I have a poodle.
You have a poodle, and you also drive a rent-a-cop car from an auction.
Yeah.
Crown Vic.
About that important piece. Yeah, Crown Vic. I drive a Crown Vic. Yeah. This is ridiculous. You're going to sit here and tell me that the Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, man. Wow, John Elway went. My God, that means he's coming to Denver. Wow, you guys are so you guys hit it right on the money, man.
Whoa! John Elway has nothing to do with it. Remember, he has nothing to do with it. Aaron Rodgers is just going to come here.
Ignore his. Yeah. Just ignore his director of player personnel stuff. Just ignore it.
That's what I thought was funny too, is that I was reading, while the same people are saying, oh no, Elway doesn't have anything to do with it. It's George Payton. Don't even think about Elway. As soon as this Aaron Rodgers thing came, they were like, it's all John Elway. It's all John Elway. It's all John Elway. Well, wait a minute. You're the people saying it's all George Payton. See how they do that?
You're right. They do that. That's all I have to say. That's all. That's my comment. These people are they're idiots.
So what else happened this last week that you noticed? You noticed the Drew Lock. You like the mindset and where he's coming from, and
yes,
I heard Bridgewater.
If you didn't watch that press conference, I sent you. I sent you the press conference. That guy was sticking it to all you STR people, and then they went behind his back. Oh, this mindset is just appalling. Well, you know what? The things that you've done to this guy, I hope he sticks it right.
Well, I think that was the whole.
You people,
I think that
conservative.
I think that's what Peyton Manning was trying to help Locke with, was to stick. I think Manning would also like to stick it. I even wonder if Locke does really well. If Elway,
he'll be better. I think he'll be better this year, but he still has Pat Shurmur as his offense coordinator.
Oh, God, he's got a lot going against. So does Bridgewater. But I heard Bridgewater was struggling a bit in these OTAs, and I think Locke was doing pretty good in these OTAs, and I think that kind of set the STR people kind of send them end over end.
Yep. Backpedaling.
Yeah, what they do is that backpedaling. So it's going to be interesting. I just don't understand bringing Bridgewater in personally. To this date, it doesn't make any sense. Their logic is
to say that too. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I was the first person to say that, bringing this guy in. I would have kept Driscoll. That would have been I would have just kept him. He was already on your roster.
Instead of spending all that money, and that's
but SCR and the.
It's what I'm saying. This isn't a knock on Bridgewater at all. It didn't make any sense. It's just like, are we here to develop? Can we develop this guy? Can we do it? I mean, you're paying a guy millions of dollars more than your starter? I mean, it just doesn't. Who's the starter? The guy. Who do you want to be the starter? Well, obviously the guy you end up paying the king's ransom to. I know Bridgewater isn't making the same thing Aaron Rodgers, but I understand it. But I'm just saying, compared to Locke, he's making the king's ransom.
Well, all the fans that like to talk about that it's all about the quarterback. They know everything about football. If you know the quarterback, you know everything about football.
Yeah.
And that's why they hated Jeff Driscoll, because they didn't like Jeff Driscoll. They don't like Drew Lock. They don't like Brett Rippon. So you know quarterbacks. You know everything about film. You don't watch film. Easy about watching film. You guys watch the highlight reel films. Okay, Cody Rourke. You guys are just, I'm not saying Cody Rourke is lazy at his job, but instead of providing me a highlight reel film, provide me like
an honest review.
Real film, not the, stop giving me these highlight reel films.
Let's see honest film review. Well, you can't do that because you're affiliated, okay? You're affiliated. Oh, that reminds me, I got one last announcement that I got to make. I don't know if anybody's going to make it this far, but I want to put this podcast on other channels, BitChute perhaps, maybe Brighteon. I'm looking at some other things because I just got multiple notifications from YouTube that they're going to put advertising on the Broncos channel that's no commercials, and I think they are just doing this so that so when I show NFL highlight films, they can say you can't show that because YouTube could potentially make money off of this. Well, if that's the case, then I have the same argument that the NFL does about because I'm not going to be getting a penny for this, just so you know, that they can make money off of my content. Well, if the NFL's upset that YouTube's making money off me showing NFL highlights, film breakdown, then I should be saying the same. Then YouTube should have to also stop the commercials using my platform. So that used to be the case. If you say I'm not monetizing this, because that was the whole point of YouTube was this was your YouTube, your channel, YouTube. So in order to make sure that we can show the highlight films, because I'm just waiting for a notification that says you showed, because I have gotten notifications for using the film, but it's okay because there's no monetary. And this is what I knew going into this, that all these platforms that are getting money can't do what we do. So that I am going to explore, we're going to put it on channels that we don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
So
I'm fully in support. If that's what you want to do, this is your channel. By all means,
show the film.
I will support.
That way we can continue to show the film. Because
absolutely,
if it just in case, so that if I get notifications saying you can't show this film, well, okay, then what I'll do is I will black it out and give the link to where you can go and see what I'm talking about on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. We are a GM-centric channel, and we're not going to go ahead.
I was going to say, in this land of liberty.
Give me a freaking break. Yeah, we're easily, me and you are both easily triggered like liberals. So just remember that. We're both easily triggered because we are liberals. Give me a fucking... If I was a fucking liberal, dude, and this is... I'm
about as fucking as it gets.
I'm
agnostic as it gets.
Fucking liberal. If I was a fucking liberal, Jesus Christ, people. Really? Would I be?
You knew how to get under your skin, so you just say liberal. It gets right under your skin there. He got you.
Liberty. Liberal.
You have a poodle.
I'm going to go take the COVID vaccine shot.
With your poodle. You're going to give your poodle that shot, too.
I'm going to drive up with my Crown Vic with my poodle in the back. I'm going to get the shot for free. I'm going to go 2 weeks later to get the fake Moderna shot. And then I'm going to go, do whatever a liberal does.
Now, at your gas station, weren't you giving out free hot dogs for every time they flashed a COVID, what is it, a vaccine passport or whatever that thing is?
Because if you get
this land of liberty.
Yep. We send the National Guard in like they're doing in Texas and New York. We're doing that. We're gonna do that to you. You come in our 7-Eleven store. We're gonna have National Guard and Army people asking if you have the freaking shot. And if you don't have the shot, they're gonna give it to you.
And you will salute them.
Yep. You will salute them. You will praise them for forcing a shot on you that's not right.
Experimental.
Yeah, there's a shot. Yeah. That's what they're gonna do to you.
Yeah, and in
you
the
come
stands,
on my set.
And at the stands, the NFL's already got the people, that don't have a yellow star, they get the everything great. The people who wear the yellow stars, they got to be, out in the parking lot. Out in the parking lot. So you can look up that yellow star reference and figure it out for yourself. But anyway,
it's coming.
Yeah, I think it's already here.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I'll have to take this channel somewhere else when I show NFL film. I've got, because man, they gave me just notification after notification after notification that they were going to monetize. They're going to get money off it. I don't get a dime off of it, but so when the NFL gripes said, "Oh, YouTube's making money off of your channel," well, that's not my fault. Then I should have this same legitimate argument that I can make to YouTube that you shouldn't be getting any money off my channel. If you support the NFL in that argument, then you have to support my argument because it's the same argument. Oh, but you're not privileged. See, that's again the land of the free, right?
Yeah, land of the free, home of the brave, which we thought.
So yeah, well, it's Memorial Day weekend, so that's our Memorial Day message for all those out there. Thumbs down.
Go get the vaccine. Go get the vaccine, guys. You guys want to help yourself? Go get the vaccine. You guys can come to my 7-Eleven store. Yeah, you guys can go to my 7-Eleven store right down the street and
get the free hot dog.
Yeah, get the free hot dog. My poodle will be greeting you guys every time you come.
Big old slurp on the face.
Yeah, big old slurp on the face. Gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Just gets crazier every day. All right, so I'll wrap it up with that cheerful note, and we'll see what other clown crap comes down the turnpike.
Well, I think the Aaron Rodgers thing. Just keep an eye out post June 1st. It's this week, so.
Well, everybody knew he wasn't coming.
We'll see what happens.
Everybody knew that. Everybody knew that. You people
Did you now?
Yeah.
Yeah. You and I don't know what we're talking about.
No. So, well, we'll post also. I'll post the link. Get the links for that Williams breakdown.
Carter. Well.
All right.
Take care.
Stay safe and stay out of trees. All right.
Yep. If you want to come to my 7-Eleven store, I'll send you the link, and you guys can come and get some free hot dogs.
Parked right, the black and white Crown Vic. It's parked out there with the
jerry-rigged
sirens and lights.
If anybody knows about a good paint job for my Crown Vic, let me know.
But it has to be black and white, so it keeps that.
The paint's starting to come off it. I need to touch up. Good God.
Oh, and also a good pinstripe guy to put K9 unit on the back of it.
Yeah. No, the poodle unit. The poodle unit.
That is true. You are a left wing.
Yep. Liberal. So, yep. So all right. Liberal poodle unit. All right.
All right. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.